Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working our way through our oil deficit, which is still significant, and we've got a lot of oil rigs to make. This is about 11 months here. Oh, we just finished up one of our colonizations. So that's definitely something that we want to deal with. We want to incorporate that state, which is going to be this one. Perfect. So that's now underway. And we can reset the production methods down over here, but there's nothing to reset, so that looks good. Okay, sounds good. So we will continue working on these oil rigs, of course. Do we want any additional colonization down over here? Well, we're colonizing here right now, and yeah, I think we should probably colonize like Sokoto. So we'll come down over this direction and be working on that. Okay, cool. So that's underway. We're running out of areas to colonize, by the way, out over this way. We've saved this, but we're running out of areas to colonize. And that's not surprising. We knew that this would very likely happen. So that's absolutely a-okay for right now. And do we need to do anything about this situation? Let's just do it. It's wildly overkill to send one of our armies to go crush this, but at least they don't have to go by sea now. So that's nice. Okay, we're getting up very, very close to 700 million in terms of our GDP, and we're very, very happy about that. We're also working on our tech here. We're still capped on our innovations, so nothing really to be done there, unfortunately. We are going to be getting arc welding very soon, and arc welding is going to be a seismic shift to our economy. It's going to be insane. Absolutely bonkers, in fact. Do we want to get any law changes going? I don't really think we have any that we want to change right now. We're getting close to wanting to do rights of women, but I don't think we're at that point yet where that makes sense. We're very close though. So that all seems fine, but arc welding is absolutely going to be a seismic shift. We do not want to build additional construction because it's going to be insane. And it's going to cause a lot of problems in our economy, at least for a while. So that's understood. It's going to be a bit, and we'll see how that goes. For now, though, we're finishing up all of these oil rigs, and this is still saying 11 months in this construction queue. Now it's 12 months. It's because these down here have low construction efficiency. Okay, fair enough. I'm not that concerned about it. So groceries, however, groceries are a little bit up there. I'm interested in potentially getting some food industries here. Where are food industries? Food industries, here we go. I'm interested in getting some of these going for sure. And we've got 14 in Campania. Yeah, let's just bring this up to the economy of scale cap. So that's going to be plus 36. That's a lot. No doubt about it. We can also do a few in Lebanon. It's still theoretically valuable here. Okay, something about like that. Now that's a lot, but these are going to build fairly quickly. So we'll just let that go for the moment. We've added 2 months to our construction queue, and we're about to massively improve our construction. So I'm not terribly concerned about that, but I am concerned about what our economy is going to look like after we shift over to arc welding here. This is going to be spicy. This is going to be real spicy. So that should be absolutely fascinating to find out what happens here. After arc welding, what do we have in queue? Nothing is the answer. Okay, we should go into military, and we should be working on something like stormtroopers or even NCO training. I think NCO is the way to go. So we'll get going on that for right now, and we need to shift over. Arc welded buildings. This is going to be insane. This is going to be bonkers. We're going to have so many problems. Let's see what happens here. Give it a month, or rather a week tick. 3051. This is still half of the construction that I expected. And yeah, look at that deficit. That's not surprising. Okay, we're holding it. We've gone up a little bit. I want to check in our... Are we fully employing in our construction industries right at this moment? Yeah, we are. Okay. So this is about where we're going to cap out at. That's surprising to me. That's okay. We're still building way faster. We can see that steel is a bit of a deficit, about 5K. So I do want to get some steel production going here. So where do we want to do this? Well, Syria is a decent spot. We're not at the economy of scale cap here. We can do plus 17 of these. But our steel production does actually have some that it can absorb. We've also got Israeli Croatia down over here, which I think is not a bad place to put some as well. So we can put in quite a number of these. Let's see, that's going to be 33 to the economy of scale cap. So that would be the economy of scale cap there, and that should be absolutely fine for now. So let's get that going. That's going to be a number of additional steel mills. But look at that, down to 9 months on this construction. We're still building almost all of those food industries. Not quite, but almost. I do want to get this railway moved up. We'll definitely work on that. And we're currently constructing 7 pages. 7 full pages. Okay, that's kind of insane. So that's understood. We're paying a huge price for this at this moment. Surprisingly, the price of glass is really low. Does arc welding use less glass? Hang on. I want to check here. If we were to shift to here... No, it uses more glass. Wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, well, that's fine. We probably do want to get some power plant production going, though. And the question is, when and how much? Well, the answer to that is kind of now and yes. So I'm going to get going on these power plants. We're going to build the power plants until they are no longer projected to make us money. This is going to be a lot of power plants, but they're quick to build, theoretically. Emphasis on theoretically. Yeah, this is definitely a lot. And we're putting these up at the top of the queue right now. I'm going to want to move them a little bit, but for now, it's fine. I just want to be making progress on the queue for the moment. So we're just spamming these out. We will get these completed eventually. Okay, that's a lot of negative infrastructure in Palestine. That is noted. We absolutely need to do something about that. We'll get that done after we're done queuing these up. I'm going to do this with the game paused now because I want to have this be a little snappier. So we're just going to continue to work on these. This is a lot of power plants. That's absolutely understood. I don't want to build here. So we're going to go down now, because we don't want to build in foreign countries for these for the moment. So similarly, once we get Constantine's up here, we're not going to want to build there. Okay. We need to do something about that Palestinian infrastructure. That's absolutely going to be the case. This is Upper Egypt. Let's cancel all of these. There we go. Down here in Hejaz, Deir ez-Zor, and then Palestine. Yeah. So we're definitely getting a lot lower on our earnings here. That's noted. I have questions about Palestine. Like, we're on the top. We're on oil turbines. Why is Palestine needing, like, 250 of these things? That's kind of wild, isn't it? That's more than kind of wild. That's actually very wild. Okay, let's go into our railways. Let's sort by infrastructure, and let's see what we've got here. So, Palestine, we should subsidize. Lebanon, we should subsidize. Nejd, we should subsidize. Deir ez-Zor does not need subsidization, but it does need an additional level. Israeli Croatia, another level. Urmia needs subsidization. And then we've got this down over here. So something like that. But this is currently producing 660 infrastructure. Yeah, I think we don't actually need to build here. Okay. Now I want to come down here, and I don't want to build all of these. Hang on. Get out of here. I don't want to build all of these right now. So I want to bring this all the way down to here, with the priority being on building these food industries. This is going to take us a while to get this all built, and that's understood. After we're done with the food industries, of course, well, we'll do the priority being the steel mills, then the food industries, then the power plants. But we clearly need some power production. That's very obvious. Okay, I want to check our production methods for our power plants. It feels weird that we need this much. But maybe they made some changes. That's a possibility. So, let's see. We are on electric streetlights, so there is that. Let's see here. Ports can move to modern ports, which we should do. And what else are we needing here? So we want our power plants, which are here. Yeah, they're on oil-fired plants. Completely around the entire nation. So that's fine. We'll get going on this. That's going to be 40 pages of additional construction, but these constructions should actually go pretty quick. As we can see, that only roughly doubled the amount that we had in our queue, and we're 18 months in that queue at this point. So that's understood. We are going to spend our way through our gold reserves in about 30 weeks, so that's fine. Hopefully our economy will have grown somewhat by the time we get that done. We'll see. So that's looking relatively fine. Our infamy is still quite high at 35.2, and that's noted. So I just need to continue to construct for a little bit here. But these steel mills are going fairly well. I see that iron is currently expensive, and that will continue to be the case as we ramp up our steel production. So do we have any iron mines in here? Only 4 in constructions, so no, not really. That's understood. We're in the same situation with lead, and that's also kind of rough. We do apparently have some coal that we can get, which I would not mind doing. So I'm putting these in at the top of the queue right now. So that seems fine. Iron mines, this is only 4 in construction. Sulfur mines, we do have a little bit that we could get, but I don't see the reason in queuing it up right now. Same with logging camps, and same with fishing wharves. They're all fine. So that's absolutely okay for now. We're going to work on these coal mines. That's going to be done in 19 weeks. And our steel mills are going to be done in about 6-7 weeks, somewhere around there. Our food industries are nearly all working at the same time. I do want to move these railways up, so we'll get those up at the top of the priority list, like that. So here in the next week or two, we should see all of our food industries being worked on. And once we get those power plants underway, they build surprisingly quickly, since they're only 400 construction now. It's kind of wild to me that power plants are 400 construction at this point. But they are. So that's absolutely great for us, and we're going to be seeing these coal mines finishing up eventually. We're going to see these railways finishing eventually, but the real kicker here is going to be these steel mills, and that will be good. Okay, so the steel mills are finishing now. Our GDP has not been going up quite as quickly as I would have liked, but that's mostly because we haven't been finishing things. We've been moving stuff around, and we're just going to focus on getting some things finished for right now. We still have a big old shortage of oil, and that's going to get worse as we work on the power plants. So we may actually want to take our oil construction up above the power plants and build the oil extraction first. I'm going to do that. So we're going to move this up. There's not a lot of oil available here. And a lot of this is 4 in construction. So that's understood. But let's move this right on up. And there's our domestic production now. So we're just taking this up to the top. And that's almost there. There we go. And then we've got some additional oil that we can probably queue up. But do we want to do the oil rigs before these other constructions? The answer is no. So I'm going to move these guys up. So that's the food industries, the coal mines, and the railways. It's just a couple of things there. We want to get those done first, and then we'll get working on those oil rigs. And I want to check in where... Oh, we actually do have all of the oil rigs queued up. Okay. I thought that we had a couple of extra that we could do, but nope, that is not accurate. That's fine. Absolutely A-okay. So these food industries are going to be done within 8 weeks, and the oil rigs are, of course, going to be produced after that. Then we're going to make the power plants. Now, we do have some electricity shortages, and we have some market access issues as well. I want to check in on Deir ez-Zor. I believe we just finished up a railway here, and this is subsidized. So we probably need an additional level of railway here. Let's see here. This is -10 for infrastructure. But this is fully occupied. So yeah, let's get an additional construction going there. In Israeli Croatia, what do we got going on here? This needs to be subsidized. Here, it is subsidized, and we could use an additional railway. And then in Syria. In Syria, this is not subsidized, but it could use an additional railway. So we'll get that going. We'll get a couple more railways under construction here. We'll get all of these coal mines finished up nice and quickly here. And the food industries will all be done within 6 weeks. In that same time frame, the oil rigs will start to finish as well. So that'll be absolutely great. And we're actually starting to work on some of these foreign construction oil rigs already. So every single domestic production oil rig is now being worked on. That seems good, and our pop growth is 1.55 million per annum at this point. If we look at Ukraine, they're at 2.19, so they're still growing faster than us. But if we look at other powerful nations, like, for example, what is this map mode that we're in? Why are we in this map mode? Can we exit this map mode? Can we sit in a normal map mode? Clear locked map mode. Apparently, this is just our life now. That's kind of wild. This is a really weird map mode to be in. I don't even know what this is showing us. Oh, this is showing us pop growth. Why is it showing us pop growth? Can I be in the normal map mode? No. That's wild. How did I do this? I think this is something I did. I don't think this is a bug. Because I was looking at the population of Ukraine. Okay, so we need to come out over, like, over here. We need to go to Ukraine. And we were in the population here. Okay, apparently that fixed it. That is a bug then. Because it moved into it because we were moused over. And then the mouse leaving that never got triggered. And so it never went back to the standard map mode, and that was just replacing the standard map mode. That is a little bit of a bug then. Okay, cool. Well, we got it fixed. That's the important thing. So, at this point, the oil rigs are definitely completing here. And we'll have all of our domestic oil rigs done within 12 weeks. You can see here, this is saying 24 months. This is because we're building at a relatively slow speed in a lot of these areas, and that's not very surprising at all. So that seems good. What's less good is it's 1926, and we've still got 31 infamy. We would like to fight one more war. This is my main issue, actually, with Victoria, and it's not, like, a huge deal. I just wish it was longer. I wish it was more Europa length. I get why they chose to have it be a 100-year period, right? But I wish it was longer. But there's no point. We'll continue on to Hoi once this is over. There's no point in, like, extending the timeline or anything. We already extended it in one direction. I just wish we had, like, 400 years. That would be nice. 4 times as long would be a good length. Very good length. Not for YouTube, of course. The YouTube algorithm absolutely hates the long series that I do, but I don't hate them, so we do them. And I wish they were longer. And I'm not sorry, YouTube algorithm. So that's absolutely wonderful, and we're going to get these oil rigs, the domestic ones, finished up, basically all finishing now. We've got 4 weeks until they're all done, but they were nearly all done, and that's perfect. So these foreign oil rigs, they're going to get built, and we're not building all of them simultaneously yet. I don't want to move these railways up. We'll definitely get those done. Okay, so that all looks absolutely fine for now. In fact, a lot of these were already queued. Fascinating. Well, we'll get them done, and that's absolutely fine. Our domestic oil rig production will be completed this week. So, let's let that finish, and then I want to check in on what our oil deficit still is, because we've still got one, and I want to know how much. Oof, 14.5K. That's a lot. Okay, That's absolutely understood. We're using a lot of oil, and we're going to use a lot more. So, yeah. That's going to get a bit spicy. So our railways here are going to be done soon enough, and the question is, how long until we finish up all of our foreign oil rig constructions? Well, we haven't started on all of them yet. But we can pretty safely say that it's going to be a little while. Probably at least like 20 weeks until that's done. Now, we're still spending through our gold reserves. We've spent through about half of them, but we've also cut our deficit by about half. So that's also very interesting. We're very, very close at this point to actually getting started on these power plants, but we need to finish up some of these other constructions first. So that will happen very, very soon. 21 months on our mega construction queue at this point. But how much of this is actually mega construction? Well, there's not actually that much in here. Like, seriously, there's not. We'll get through this pretty quickly once we actually get through these oil rigs and into the power plant constructions. Because the power plant constructions are mostly in fully efficient construction areas. Not entirely, but mostly. And they're also only 400 construction, so they will build very quickly. And that's absolutely great. We are now beginning construction on some of these power plants. We're 17 weeks away from our oil rig construction being... Our foreign oil rig construction, I should say, being fully completed. And we don't actually expect to get too much out of that, although a lot of these are, I think, within our market. Although this is incorporated into Khuzestan, so, you know. Khuzestan, however, is our subject, so that's absolutely fine. So that is definitely within our market, and this is breaking out again. Very rude. Whatever. If that's what they want to do, I guess it's fine. So all of these foreign oil rigs in Arabistan, they're going to be done in a few weeks here, and these are going to help our market production. So we can still see this is going down, 13.1k, and that's good. 15 months now on this construction queue, and that number is going to drop a fair amount more as we get these foreign constructions done. All of those in Arabistan finishing now, and that is a very significant deal for us. The oil rigs in Arabistan finishing very shortly as well. There we go. And we've just got that one railway. What's going on up here? Oh, a modernist revolt in Portuguese Iberia. Okay, I don't care about that. They can have fun with that. That's absolutely great. So we're at about 750 million on our GDP now. And Ukraine is at 1.04 billion. So they're still barely above 1 billion. I feel like we're catching up with them. However, actually, our peasant and unemployment count hasn't changed much. Despite our dramatic increase in our construction. That's noted. Very interesting. Very, very interesting, in fact. So our foreign constructions, the longest one there has 16 weeks, and then it's completely done. Our power plants, we're working on many, many, many pages of power plants at the same time now. This is probably wildly overkill on the power plants, to be clear. And this is going to really hurt our oil deficit. That's not going to be great. But that's okay. Are we on electric trains? What's our train type? Hang on. Yes, we're on electric trains. We could go to diesel trains, and I'm not sure if that would be more or less efficient. That'll drive less demand for electricity, but more demand for oil. And we're burning oil for electricity. I'm not sure which is the more efficient direction to go. We'd have to look into that. Could be an interesting thing to do. But right now, it is about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to get all these power plants finished up. I think that's very, very clear. And hopefully, we'll have our infamy be low enough to maybe start thinking about doing something. That'd be cool. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.